So hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. As this video goes out, we are in week commencing March the 8th when the roadmap to release from lockdown has commenced, and we are from this week allowed out, albeit locally, for recreational activities of course, which photography is included. So fingers crossed, weather permitting, conditions being favourable, I'm hoping to get back outside into nature, into the countryside, and start some landscape photography. Okay, so today's film is a little bit different. It's all about stock photography, and it's my opinion, my views, my insights, my experience of actually doing stock photography, which I've been doing now since 2015. So I'd like to share those experiences with you and give you some personal insight into how I found that process and whether it actually has been worth it. So for those of you who aren't aware, stock photography is basically the supply of images for purchase by consumers to use on media such as websites, posters, flyers, that sort of thing. So consumers source their images almost exclusively off the internet through sites like Shutterstock, iStock, where amateur and hobbyist photographers like myself will upload our photographs for sale. So here, for example, this online Spanish property magazine used one of my images that I took in Barcelona for an article on house sale volumes, or this one, which is from the flight booking website Skyscanner. They used one of my images, this one here, of the Azure window on the island of Gozo for an article which was discussing various Game of Thrones filming locations. So payment for download, or the royalty commission, is very, very small, and we're talking here cents, not dollars. That varies on a number of factors dependent upon the company, the agency through which you're selling, their terms and conditions. It depends on the subscribers' membership of that particular site, and whether they're buying a one-off image or whether they've got like a monthly rolling subscription where they'll buy a various number of images and they'll get a discount on buying in bulk or in volume. So how much do I actually get? Well, iStock, through which I've sold, I think, just over about 2,200 images. Their royalty commission is probably the worst. And just going through the figures before, that was on average 21 cents per download. But it is the site through which I've sold the most, at over 2,200. And this is all since about April 2015 when I started. At the other end of the scale, you've got Adobe stock. Now, my average commission with Adobe stock is about 73 cents, so an awful lot higher, over 3 times higher than iStock. But the sales through Adobe have only been around about the 250, 275 mark. So almost a tenth of what I've sold through iStock. Shutterstock, that's probably a nice balance. So there I do sell a good volume of images, and the average commission until last May, when they drastically slashed the commission rates, which was a real shame. But up until then, I was averaging just over 50 cents per image, and I'd sold about 1,200 images on that site. Since May 2020, when they slashed their commission rates, the average is reduced from now 52 cents to 38 cents. So quite a drastic drop there. So yeah, it doesn't pay massive commissions. So occasionally you do earn some really big commissions. And I say really big commissions, that's all very comparatively speaking. So rather than cents, you're earning dollars. So this image here, which is shot from the Marriott Hotel in London, looking over some high and low rise flats. I got a commission on this one of $41.45. And this one here, the Sea Stacks at Manchester on the Isle of Lewis, got $21 commission for this one. And these 1930s semi-detached houses, which are in Gosforth near Newcastle, I got $16.50 commission on that image as well. So it comes back to the question, is it worth it? Well, again, this depends what the it is. Now, I had a look on Shutterstock. I found this guy, for example. He has uploaded over 40,000 images. He probably has a studio, he builds sets, he hires models. His investment into his stock photography obviously pays for him, or otherwise he wouldn't be doing it. But it's very, very much pile it high, sell it cheap mentality. So just to put those numbers into perspective, because 40,000 is an awful lot of images. Well, it is in my opinion anyway, because when I look back, I got my first DSLR, my Nikon D50, started taking images January 2007, so that's 14 years ago. And looking back, since that date, I've taken 36,000 images. You know, this guy's got 40,000 images on his Shutterstock site. Bear in mind, I've only got 200. So out of those 36,000 images that I've taken, I've only uploaded 200. I guess the difference is he's taking photographs specifically to upload onto the stock agency sites, whereas what I've done is I'll take a photograph, and if I deem it worthy and it's got the sufficient technical quality to be able to earn an income, then I will upload it to the stock agency sites. So this all started for me back in about 2015, and it was my son actually who was doing a design project, and he was looking through Shutterstock for some imagery for a design project that he was doing at the time. And before he actually purchased anything off Shutterstock, he asked me if I'd got any suitable images. And it was that conversation that led to me considering actually uploading some of the images to the stock agency sites. And I started with Shutterstock, went onto their contributor site, read through the terms and conditions and how to register. I uploaded my first 10 images, 7 were accepted, 3 were rejected. Main reason for those was slightly out of focus, maybe slightly blurred, dust spots, maybe too much noise. So it was just a question of going back and either tidying those images up or selecting new images. So then resubmitted my 10 images. This time all were accepted, and I was granted access to their contributor program. Having done that, I then looked at some other sites. So as I said, Adobe, iStock, which is now Getty Images, Dreams Time, CanStock, Deposit Photos, Yay Images, Alamy Stock. There's a whole host of different agencies out there, and started to register, join and upload images to those sites. So it's almost 6 years since I've first started my venture into stock photography, and obviously you getting experience as to which images sell, what sites they sell on. And typically now I only upload to the 3 main sites where I earn income from, which is Adobe, Shutterstock and iStock. Now, one of the key learning points that I've taken away, and something I'd like to share with you guys, is keywording, because for me that has been absolutely critical in growing and generating sales income on the stock photography sites. So like the location of this Victorian pier in Lytham St Anne's, where a third of all sales have been as a result of St Anne's keyword searches. Or this image of Salt Mill in Bradford, where a quarter of all downloads were via Bradford keyword searches, and a fifth of downloads were from the keyword search Yorkshire. So then start to think wider with your images and what other keywords you can use. For example, like the obvious ones here would be block of flats, high-rise tower development, apartment building, but then what does the image signify? So local authority housing, poverty, social housing, inner city homes. Social housing word searches accounted for 80% of the downloads. And then this concept image that I created, it's a composite of two images, the converging railway tracks and also a coastal shot to symbolise Journey's End. And then similarly, these two images, both concepts for global warming and climate change. So my experience has been very much one of key learnings since my start back in April 2015. So it's all about selecting the right image that portrays and has particular value to potential consumers, making sure that the portrayal and the concept of that image is portrayed through the correct keywording, and making sure that you've got all the logical keywords in there that actually describe what is in the image, where that image was taken, but also add in there some other words that provide that conceptual input as we've just talked about. So as I said before, I started this back in April 2015 with just a portfolio of 10 images on each of the different stock agency sites, and I've built that up over the course of time to 200, basically just taking a period or a schedule of time out of my day just to upload and add new images to that portfolio to keep it growing and keep adding to the income stream. As I say, it's not huge, it's not massive at all, but what have been the key learnings that I've had over that period of time? Well, it's all about selecting the right image and making sure that that image is going to have some value to the potential consumer. So for example, this is one of my best selling images. There's over 200 sales alone on Shutterstock, and this was just a random shot that I took from the top of the Vardry in Deganwy in North Wales, overlooking a housing estate. And this one appears on many estate agency websites and blogs about house prices and mortgage rates and the availability of help to buy schemes. So it's just, again, looking at what images you've got and what value they may well have. So it's a rubbish picture really, but it has so much value when it comes to stock photography. And the one we talked about before, the Maison Carrée, the Roman temple in Nîmes, by getting those keywords, the conceptual keywords right, has produced many sales of that image. Again, that's had over 140 sales on Shutterstock alone. And that appears again on legal websites, legal blogs, law firms talking about statutory notices and enactments of law. And this image pops up time and time again. So again, it's all about getting those conceptual keywords right. This image here, for example, as well, which is a row of terraced houses in Lancashire. This one has been downloaded on the keyword searches buy to let. In the UK, we have a number of different schemes when it comes to buying houses and mortgages. We have help to buy, we have buy to let, we have let to buy. So it's making sure that when you're keywording, again, coming back to keywording and how important it is, it's making sure that you get those keywords right, and instead of the usual obvious ones like stone, terraced, cottage, row, houses, development, you also add those conceptual keywords. So I always put on any pictures of property, I always put help to buy, buy to let, mortgage market, first time buyer, things like that, just so that when you've got to think about what people are going to be searching for who are looking for these images. It's putting that hat on and saying, if I was looking to write an article about the impact of COVID on first-time buyers, for example, and I wanted a picture of a house, then you're going to search first-time buyer house. So make sure that your keywords reflect that and have those in appropriately. So yeah, massive learning for me, choosing the right image. The other thing, of course, is to get the quality right. So it's exactly what you would ordinarily do anyway with your images. So it's making sure that there is no noise in those images, any dust spots have been removed, that the image is in focus, it's clear, it's pin sharp. So my final point is that this is a hugely diverse market. Now, yes, many of the images that I do sell, like these of buildings, of houses, rows of terrace cottages, apartment blocks, office buildings, they obviously have a natural fit, and you can see where they would sell, as do many of the landscape photography images that I take. So these often appear on many travel sites advertising holidays to certain destinations, so they prove very, very popular indeed. But then there's these more diverse images, and I've sold at least one copy of each of these images that you're seeing on the screen now. Some are quite random, quite bizarre, and you do wonder where on earth these images are popping up. I have tried doing a Google image reverse lookup, but sometimes you just can't find it, and it's probably because it's been used maybe on a poster or a flyer or a brochure, something like that. Some hard copy rather than media on the web. Okay, so finally, to answer that question, is it worth it? Well, yes, it is worth it to me. As I say, I'm not investing heavily in producing images to upload to stock photography sites. These are all images that I had in my existing repertoire. They're photographs that I've taken along the way since I got my first DSLR back in 2007. So these are all images that have been sat on my hard drive. So I've just taken these, I've keyworded them, prepared them, uploaded them, and put them with the stock agencies, and they've started to earn me an income. Now, otherwise these images would have just been sat, as well you know, just sat on your hard drive, just sat on your computer, doing absolutely nothing. But once I've uploaded them, they're there to be bought, they're there to be consumed and used, and they're there to earn me a passive income. So, as I said before, it's only a matter of cents that these particular images earn me, and I've not got high volumes. But in total, since starting back in April 2015, I've had just over 3,600 downloads, which has earned me the grand total of $1,414 US, which is just over, in today's conversion rate, about £1,023. So that's about £250 a year, which is £20 a month. So it's absolute peanuts. It's just pure pocket money. But to me, yes, it is worth it, because I've just let that income come in and I've saved it up in a little pot. And only last year I used some of that money to buy myself the Sony ZV-1 camera. So for me, absolutely worth it. I've taken photographs, I've taken images that otherwise would have just been sat on my hard drive. I've uploaded them to stock photography sites. Those have sold, and all that income has bought me a brand new Sony ZV-1 camera. So absolutely it's worth it. I've still got money in the pot, and I'm still earning cents every day, which obviously mount up and mount up. So I just think from there on in, if you've any questions, please do drop them to me below in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you've got any questions whatsoever on stock photography, on how you get started, please do drop me a line and I'll get back to you. So as I said right at the start of the program, we are now on that roadmap out of recovery, and we can get out and about into the landscape, albeit locally. So I am hoping to get outside, get into maybe some of the local woods and get some images and do a vlog from outside. I am fed up of doing it from home now. I can't wait to get out with a camera. Obviously we can't go further afield until March the 29th, and I'm hoping to get out and do a bit more travelling once we get past that date, so hopefully be able to share some films with you from further afield. But as for today, yeah, it's been a bit different. I still hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. So say any questions, please let me know below. As always, thank you ever so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed this one, and until next time, goodbye.